guys, I'm Gagasita. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Nice to meet you. Welcome to this beauty space where we just love to share our love for beauty and makeup, and it could be about the new makeup, about the old makeup, but today's video it's gonna be about the new to me collection from Oden's Eye. Every year Oden's Eye seems to launch a collab with influencers. The first year was all about the Diversa collection, and I loved that collection and they own all three palettes. The last year was with the Angelica Vista palette, and I do have two videos about that palette here on my channel, and I'm gonna link for you those videos somewhere here. And this year they launched the collection of the Perfect Word palette, and it's a collab with three different influencer, Beauty Bean, then we have Laura May from Laura May Beauty, and Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. Today it's gonna be a swatch party video and a tutorial with the three palettes together. The first palette I wanna swatch for you is the Planet Spirit palette, and this one it's the collab with Beauty Bean, and they say that the inspiration is the animal in our nature. The color story, it's a really bright and fun color story. It's really bright, and honestly the first time I saw this color story I felt a little bit let down, because this is the third collab Beauty Bean. I think it's the third collab Beauty Bean do with some brand, with a brand, and her first two collabs were really interesting grungy color story, and this one it's a really interesting and bright color story, but it isn't as grungy as her other collabs. It probably makes sense for her, but from the way I perceive her and her channel, I was a little bit like, wow, it could be different, you know? But let's swatch the palette together. The first color is the shade Fauna, which they describe to be a pink base multi-chrome, and it's a really transparent base, as you can see. It's hard to show on camera, and I can see it shift from purple, orange and pink, and it has like a slightly gray blue base, but the base is almost transparent. I don't know if you can actually see here. I hope that in the close-up you can see a little bit better. I'm gonna swatch the colors like in rows by two, because to me it just makes more sense. And the next color I'm gonna swatch is the shade Rescue, which is described to be bright pink matte, and definitely you can see it's really bright. And for being a bright shade, it swatches kind of nice, honestly. It's almost neon-y like color. Then we have the color Kingdom, which is described to be a bright green matte, and this to me it isn't like a classic bright. It has some teal undertone on it, which make it so nice. Then underneath we have the color Familiar, which is described to be a bright green shimmer with multiple shimmers and sparkles. And yes, I can see it as it's a really, it's a really sparkle and yummy as color, like it. Then we got the color Animalia, which is described to be an orange pearlescent shade with multicolors shimmers, and yeah, you can see it's a little bit less shiny than the other one. It's nice, not perfect at all. Then underneath it we have the shade Habitat here, which is described to be, guess what, a bright orange. And yes, a really nice bright orange. Then we have the color Pride, which is described to be a bright purple, And this color, it's Yabbiness. It's so bright and so beautiful purple. It's a really nice tone of purple, almost pink like it. Then we have the color Kindred, a deep purple pearl shine with multicolor shimmers. Let me do one more layer. It's less shimmer than the others in the palette. Then we have the color Majestic, which is described to be a golden yellow with pearl shine with multicolor shimmers. And honestly, this one it has a really small sparkles and it's really shimmery and nice. It's just a little bit piecey, you know. You can actually see a lot of the pieces, and the base it's pretty much transparent. Then we have the last color of the palette, which is a Sanctuary. This one is described a bright rose red shade, and yeah, definitely a bright rose red shade. This color story, it's really beautiful. It's just a little bit in the medium tone category. I feel that I don't have nothing to really contrast the shades without being a color contrast. I only have colors in the medium saturation of colors. Nice, not my favorites. Okay, so the next palette we're gonna swatch together is the Sea Talk palette, which is the collab with Lauren May Beauty. And when it comes to color story, I feel that this color story, I can really see the Lauren May Beauty in this palette, because she really loves her neutrals and her easy to wear colors, colorful. You can see her taking this palette, and let's swatch it, okay? The first color we're gonna swatch is gonna be the shade Dolphin Tail, which is described to be a gray toned light brown matte, and I like this tone of color a lot. I feel that it can work on my skin tone as transition. I was a little bit doubting when I first saw it, but I feel that I can make it work on my skin. Now we're gonna swatch the color Smoky Pearl, which is described to be a coffee toned base with multi-color shimmers. This color is pretty, so pretty, and I can actually see these two working really well together. You can do a all one and done look with this color here and then blend this one on your crease. Beautiful. Now we're gonna swatch the color Sunken Treasure, which is described to be a brown gold shimmer base with gold shimmers. Yeah, I will describe it. It's just like a really nice shimmery brown shade. Then we're gonna swatch the color Driftwood, which is described to be like a brown matte. I will say a red tone brown matte, really beautiful definition of brown in my opinion. Then we have the color Electric Kelp, which they described to be a light yellow metallic. I will say it's a satin pastel lime shade. Then we're gonna swatch the color Iridescent Shell, which is described to be a bright pink base with multicolors shimmers. I will say it's a transparent pink base with that shift blue and with a tiny bit of teal. Now we're gonna swatch the color Mermaid Scale, which is described to be a pale teal shimmer shade with multicolors shimmers. I can see the pale teal, but I cannot see the multicolors shimmers. Oh no, maybe a little bit of a multicolors shimmers. Now we're gonna swatch the color Sea Spray here, which is described to be a blue metallic with fine shimmers. I will say that it's a shimmer blue with some purple reflex on it, which is a really beautiful color, not metallic but shimmer. Now we're gonna swatch the color Ocean Jewel, which is described to be a deep blue base with bright blue shimmer. I will say that for me it's more like a purple blue shade with blue shimmers. Really beautiful color, not the way it's described, at least in my opinion. And then the last color of this beautiful palette is the shade Night Swim, which is something that scares the shit out of me. It's described to be a deep inky blue shade. Definitely a deep blue shade. I will not say inky, but really, really deep blue. Beautiful color story. And this one here, we have a little bit more of definition, but it kind of doesn't have any multi-chromes, which is something that all the others palette have. So I am like, well, but at least this one here have 3 dual chromes, right? So now let's swatch the last palette, which is gonna be the one that is the collab with Makeup Just for Fun, Amanda, and her palette is the Floral Story palette. From the 3 palettes, this one has the color story that speaks the most to me, because it's really green and purple, but it has some different take. I feel that this palette is like those colors, but like a really dusty color story, and I mean it in the best way possible. But let's start the swatches. The first color we're gonna swatch, it's gonna be the shade Down. This one is described to be a transparent base color with white, pink and gold shift, and I can definitely see the transparent base, a little bit of green, orange, and on my mirror I can see a little bit of pinkish red color. Beautiful as topper. Really satin-like multi-chrome, beautiful. Now we're gonna swatch the color Shroom, and this one is described to be a matte light brown. I don't know if you're gonna be able to enjoy this color because it doesn't seem to show up on my skin too much. It feels that it's more of a transition or from my transition, I don't know. Now we're gonna swatch the color Magnolia. This one is described to be a gray tone light purple with pearl shine with multicolor shimmers. Yeah, I can see. I will describe this one to be a taupey smoky purple. Then we have the color Sage here. And this one is described to be a mossy gray green toned matte shade. Really powdery, as you saw. And yeah, definitely the right description in my opinion. And then the last color of the first row is gonna be the shade Lush. And Lush is described to be a grass green pearl shine with green shimmer. It feels really gummy-like, and it has more of a satin shimmer. It's not the shebang shimmers. Now we're gonna start with the second row, and we're gonna swatch the color Clover here, which is a light gray green matte. Yeah, a light gray green is definitely the perfect description for this color. Then we're gonna swatch the color Best Buds, this one here, and this one is described to be a light gold shimmer with multicolor shimmers. Beautiful neutral kind of green in my opinion. Now we're gonna swatch the color Azalea. Yet again, this one is a gray tone light purple shade, and I will describe this one to be a medium tone mauve shade. I really like this color. And here we have the color Misty, and Misty is described to be a yellowish green shimmer base with multicolor shimmers. Nice color, nice color. And this last swatch today is gonna be this color here, which is the shade Arcade. This one is described to be a dark gray purple matte, and again really powdery. This is the whole color story. As you can see, it's a really gray leaning palette, and I feel to make it different. Let's zoom you all in so we can actually create a look with using the 3 palettes. Let me push out my hair from my face and zoom you all in. That should be enough. Now let's start. Let's start with the All About Face eyeshadow primer. I kind of want to start with this dark brown here, which is more of a medium dark brown, not extremely dark. And I'm gonna put this color in the outer part of my eye. I will blend with whatever was left on my brush a little bit here in the outer part of my crease. Now I'm gonna grab my Zoeva 231 and the color Habitat in the Berry Bean palette. And I'm putting this color a little bit above where I placed the brown. And I will stop this color just in the middle of my crease, so right here. Those 2 colors are blending really nicely together. I wanna add with the same brush, the same color, really close to the outer part of my lower lash line, and I will stop in the middle of my lower lash line too. Now I'm gonna re-grab the brown color from the Laura May palette, and I will put this color really close to my lower lash line, a little bit here in the last third part of my eye. And this way I will actually create the lift effect. And with the same, with what was left from the orange in my brush, I'm gonna blend a little bit more. Now with my Refer 12 brush, I'm gonna grab the color Electric Cow here. And I wanna place this color really close to my inner corner, but on my crease. And I'm gonna blend this color upwards, going into my brows. I'm adding this color here in the contour of my nose. Since it's a satin shade, it wants to make my inner corner look so heavy. Now I'm gonna grab a pencil brush. This one is from Zoeva. I will grab the color Sage. This color is powdery AF, and I'm gonna place this color in the inner. Look at this, look at the fallout here, my god. Look how powdery is this color, I don't know if you can see. And I will just draw my crease with this color. Try to don't connect the green with the orange. And now with the Refer brush, I will just blend the edges here. And I'm adding a little bit more of that color. Now I'm gonna grab a synthetic pencil brush. And I will grab this color here from the Laura May palette, Mermaid Tails. And I'm gonna use this color wet, so I'm gonna use my Mario Badescu spray to wet it. And now I'm placing that color in my inner lash line. This color isn't showing too much. Am I crazy? Yeah, I feel that this color will benefit from some glitter glue. Now I will grab the color Best Buds. Again, I'm gonna use it wet. And I'm placing this color to my inner corner. How opaque is this color? Beautiful. And I'm gonna stop right in the middle. Now from the Sea Talk palette, I kinda wanna grab this bronzy shade here. And I will use a synthetic brush to take the color. I'm gonna use the color Wet. I'm placing this color in the outer part. This color has what I will describe as a almost transparent base. It isn't fully opaque. And I feel that I like it, but I don't know why I don't love it. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, I will grab my glitter glue for this eye here, and let's see that if with the glitter glue the colors will perform a little bit better. It's me, or when you use glitter glue you need to use more shadow? I feel that this side with glitter glue it's a little bit more you know, it's a little bit textured and shinier, where the other side it's a little bit less. Okay, I will try to decide what to put on my waterline, put some lashes, and gonna be right back to talk about my first impression of this collection, so keep on watching. Okay, so this is the final look with lashes. I'm wearing the lashes from Amazon, and okay, let me zoom you out so we can talk about a little bit of this Oden's Eye makeup collab release. Okay, now that you can see me a little bit better, like a Monet, like this has to be, right? This is the final look. It's really colorful and neutral at the same time. I do like this look a lot, but knowing the Oden's Eye quality and having just testing the Oden's Eye Christmas palette, I feel that this could be a lot better. The color stories are cute and nice, but it seems like something that they put together in the last minute. It doesn't feel curated enough for this palette here, at least in my opinion. It doesn't feel curated enough, and this palette here, the shimmers aren't on par with the other shimmers from Oden's Eye. And this palette here, it's nice, but it's a really gray leaning. So I know it's up to the collaborators to create a cool color story. They made a beautiful job, but it probably isn't to me. You know, the color story that they curated doesn't really speak to me, which is fine. Not everything has to be about me and for me, but it's not completely on my, you know, on my taste. Of course, I needed to try the palettes more, but when it comes to the quality, I feel that the palette from the Christmas launch was way much better in quality, and the shimmers were a little bit more punchy, where those shimmers aren't as punchy. This is just a first impression, so just don't drop everything and take my word for it. Let me just test the palettes more, see more how they work, how they perform with different techniques. But we're gonna come back and I'm gonna come back and show you more looks with those palettes, so we can actually do a full-on review. But my first impression is not great, honestly. Not that impressed with. By the way, I hope this video was kind of helpful, and if you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe, and see you soon. Bye bye.